Hey, welcome back to the Not Racing YouTube channel here. I'm going to show a little tutorial on how to take your driver's side fender off your 2006 through 2007 Subaru Impreza. To start off, you should probably prop your hood. Mine's a little messed up, so hopefully it's a little bit easier. We've got 3 bolts here that we need to take off up top. You're gonna have 2 behind the door here, and then you'll have 1 down here. Now, let's get this to focus. There you go. Those usually do break. Looks like that one has a Allen key inside of it. All right, so we're back on the top half of the front fender here. Now, if you live in the Rust Belt, I'm sure you know that bolts really like to snap and things like to give us headaches over here. So just to give myself a little bit of ease, I was feeling some difficulty taking off this bolt, so I went ahead and PB blasted these. I'm going to go ahead and PB blast the other bolts that we have to deal with as well. That way they have a good time to soak. So I just finished PB blasting the rest of these bolts. So all of them, except I do believe the bottom one, they're all 10mm sockets. I've done this a couple times now. Most of the bolts on that fender are actually broken. So learned from experience. But I found usually the easiest way I can take these off is with a quarter drive socket with a little extension. And it shouldn't give you too much of a headache. Try to keep this as straight as possible, that way you don't round anything or strip anything. Now I do have, I don't even know if I said this earlier, I do have a spare set of bolts, but still try to keep these ones nice. There we go, bolt number 1. Here, we'll get this under the camera here. Maybe. Well, for some reason it's not focusing, but threads don't look too bad. Let's start this next one. Doing this one-handed is a... Woo! Yeah, I got it. I've always been taught growing up, you don't want to do this where you're trying to break it loose. You kind of want to add a constant pressure until they pop for you. Something every grandpa should be telling their grandkids. There we go. Got bolt number 2. And oh, that one was like butter. Bolt number 3 here. There we go. Threads look pretty good on all 3 of these. I'll probably just end up reusing them. They look a little bit better than the ones I pulled off of the junkyard. All right, let's get back onto these other bolts. Okay. So these bolts are kind of in a tricky spot. So you'll have 1 here, 1 down there. I would still stick with the quarter drive. That one's already super loose. I do want to show you real quick. Be careful with your door. As I said, learned from personal experience. Oh, it's locked. But I did bend the door shut on the socket. Not the greatest time, especially after just buying a new door. But I'll be replacing this one anyway. But still good practice just to try to keep things nice. Now, whenever I look up YouTube tutorials, I'm one of those people where I need things super descriptive and super up close and personal, even if the quality of the video drops a little bit from it. So that's pretty much why me and my buddy here made this channel. let's see if this one's gonna give us any headache. It's almost not going on there. All that crud. There we go. I'm gonna put the camera down to get this one loose. All right, so we got that bolt taken out here, and now this bottom one, if it's gonna focus, there we go. I'm not even sure, I can't tell the socket. Oh, okay, so it looks like, am I gonna get lucky? Is this not gonna snap? I think so. On the other side, I have the fender zip tied down here just because it was what I had available. Almost there. PB blast your bolts, folks. Makes your life a lot easier in the long run. I think we're almost there. I think we're just spinning here. All right, so after some struggling, it looks like either this was rounded or it is just an Allen key bolt here. But after a little bit of struggling and a little bit more PB blaster, I was able to get this thing loose without breaking it, thankfully. Not really sure if I'm going to reuse it. Man, you guys can't see a thing. There you go. Not sure if I'm going to reuse it or if I'm going to put a zip tie down there just for convenience sake. But either way, it'll work just fine. Get the rest out by hand here. Ooh! We got our rats. Ugh! Ew! Ew! We got a rat's nest going on in here. Hey, that looks nice. Oh, I can't wait to look at the rest of that. Yeah, it looks like this was a 10 mil at one point. It is now a no mil, and it's an Allen key. Let's see if we can get this to focus. Maybe, maybe not. I guess not. Got a little zip tie here, so we're gonna take our pliers and we're just gonna snip that off. Wow, look at that. It's now disattached. If you're cheap like me, here's a little trick. You can stick a little knife in between the tab and the zip tie, and you can loosen your zip tie. That way you can reuse them. We'll take that out of there. And we should, a little bit of persuasion, we're gonna hit these ones up too, actually. I did end up having to cut one of the zip ties because the tab was messed up, but you get the memo. Let's go back out here. So on this fender, it is attached to the headlight frame, the frame that the headlight goes into. I think that's the correct word for it. But after this bolt here, I think there may be two more on the inside. I'll have to look, because the fender I pulled out of the junkyard we have over here, I had to pull something off from the inside, but this wasn't there, so I'm not exactly sure how that's gonna work, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there in a couple minutes. This may be a little easier. There we go. Also, I don't have any electric tools at the moment in time. This is just proof. As long as you got a set of tools and enough ambition, you can accomplish anything you want to. Oh, come on. There we go. Threads aren't bad on that one. So, if I'm not wrong, yep, we've only got I think 2 bolts on the back half side here, and we should be able to take this off. All right, that had some issues, but I was able to figure it out. There is 2 10mm nuts and then 2 10mm bolts on the bottom here that you do have to remove to get the headlight out. But the last 2 bolts we should have to touch is that one right there, and then on the bottom there as well. So they're both 10mm, so I'm gonna take those out really quickly. There you go, there's a better view for you. But I'm gonna take these out really quickly so we can get this fender off. So those last 2 bolts there to get the fender off, the bottom one gave me quite the headache. Also realized I was in cinematic mode for some of those shots. So sorry about the blurriness that was going on, but we're all good now. After getting those last 2 bolts off, you should... Here we go. Should just be able to take the fender off. We're gonna throw that there. Now this piece is still pretty good, so I may end up reusing this because I already drilled into it. If the bolt to put the bumper on doesn't hold, so I may end up pulling that off of this one because I don't want to drill into this untouched fender here. But we're gonna start putting this back on. So I did get into a deer hit me. And it does look like I do have some frame damage pushed in right here. I am hoping that I gotta clean this thing. I am hoping that the fender does fit, even with the little bend that we have here. We're gonna find that out in about like 10 seconds. So it does look like all 3 bolt holes still line up, which is amazing news. Also doesn't look like my strut tower got pushed in at all when this accident happened. So really, really happy about that. I'm going to start the process of getting this thing put all back together. Okay. So every time I go to tighten these bolts down, I do go till they're tight, and then I will back off about a turn or 2. That way they can still move around, because you are most likely going to have to align it a little bit. There we go. For the hood, that way your line's good. Now this hood is a little ugly, so I'm not too concerned about it. But after getting these top 3 on, I am going to lay the ones on the door, and then I am going to throw a zip tie on the bottom there just to make my life a little easier. I did clean underneath here a little bit. This car will be getting taken apart to get painted, so I'm not too concerned about it at this exact moment in time. But you don't want to leave any of that gunk under there. It will rust, and you don't want that happening to your car, especially if you live in the Rust Belt here. But yeah. All right, so got those top 3 laid. I do want to show this real quick. For the bolts here and here, I do recommend leaving them kind of loose. I'm not a professional by any means. I'm just trying to leave some suggestions that I found help me pretty good. But you want to leave them kind of loose, and then you want to make sure you test your door gap. This one's a little outrageous, but you can buckle your fender or your door. This door is trashed, but this is a really nice fender. But you just want to go nice and slow. If you see anything start to bind, stop, push the fender forward if you can. You can also adjust your door if you need to, but as you can see here, this shuts without a problem, opens all the way without a problem. But I did just want to make that little note. Anyway, after we go back over here, you see these. Now, my fenders, you kind of got to push it on this one. It does have a little spacer. I think I'm going to clean this up with some sandpaper real quick. And then I had it on the bottom here. You could probably get away without putting the spacer back in, but I am going to. All right, so I'm just finishing up tightening down these bolts. I did drop the hood, and I did make sure that everything was aligned. Made sure that the hood wasn't rubbing on the fender at all. I am going to do another slow close after tightening all these, because I want to make sure that nothing touches or rubs, because like I said, this is a really nice fender. Got a pretty okay deal out of it for it being at a junkyard. But yeah, after that, I just have to reattach the headlight and then zip tie the bumper back up, and we should be good. Okay, so I put those nuts and bolts back in. My bumper's a little messed up, so it's not like pretty, by any means. And it wasn't really the goal, more just trying to make it look a little nicer. But I was able to use a zip tie over here. Got a new zip tie on over there. I have yet to do the bottom part of the fender. Exhausted, won't lie. But yeah, that is everything. Let's go ahead and drop. Hold up, let's make sure I didn't leave any bolts anywhere. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Make sure that's not gonna. All right. Ta-da! And just like that, you can install your own 2006 through 2007 Subaru Impreza fender. Well, thank you for watching the video. Like I said, this is just me and my friend's channel, trying to help people out and help fund our project car and cars. This is my personal vehicle. We did just get some good news on the Subaru GL that we have, so hopefully sooner than later I'll have another video on that posted and such. My friend clearly wasn't in this video today, it's just me, but still something we wanted to post and get out there. But yeah, I've got to do some stuff plus edit this video so I can post it. I don't even know how long it is or how much crap I'm going to cut out, but thanks so much for watching. We would appreciate if you could like and subscribe, and have a good rest of your day.